Hey everyone, it's Ashton. Today's episode is Haunted Roads Volume 2, and this one was exclusively on Patreon for a bit, but I'm giving it to you all now. And we have 2 new Patreon episodes coming down the pike, so if you are not a Patreon supporter, head over there and you can support at the $1 per month level on up. Anything helps support the podcast, and you'll get early access to all the episodes plus exclusive content available only on Patreon. Next week, we have episodes 49 and 50. Are you kidding me? So stay tuned for that as well. We got lots of exciting stuff coming, and I hope you guys enjoy Haunted Roads Volume 2. See you soon. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Haunted Corner, and welcome to Haunted Roads Volume 2, and our second ever Patreon exclusive episode. Thank you so much for your support and for tuning into the show. I'm so excited for the second part of this series, so let's jump right in. First off today, we will be heading to Long Island, New York, to Sweet Hollow Road. Sweet Hollow Road is a short road located on Long Island and is known for its hauntings that have spooked travelers to their core over the years. This road, along with a road that runs parallel to it, called Mount Misery Road, have hauntings that date back hundreds of years. I mean, obviously, if the road has misery in its name, you know it's not great. There are many ghost stories associated with Sweet Hollow Road, with the most popular story including an accident involving a school bus full of children. According to the legend, a school bus was traveling on the Northern State Overpass Bridge just above Sweet Hollow Road. It was snowing outside and the roads were becoming icy. Just as the bus was crossing the bridge, it hit a slick spot and skidded off the bridge and onto Sweet Hollow Road below, killing everyone on board. The legend says that if you put your car in neutral beneath the bridge, you'll feel the car begin to roll as it's moved out of the way. And it's said that the cars are being moved by the children from the school bus. Another popular haunting associated with Sweet Hollow Road is the legend of the White Witch. Around the time of the Salem witch trials, it's said that there was a reported witch named Mary who was accused of just that, being a witch, and was hung for her crimes by what is now known as Sweet Hollow Road. Stories have reported sightings of Mary, who appears as a tall woman dressed in a flowy white dress. She appeared bony and on one event drew a pentagram with her finger in the air before disappearing as quickly as she had appeared. Now, the White Witch is not the only reported spirit of a woman named Mary that haunts the area. One night, it's reported that a young woman named Mary was riding in a car with her boyfriend. The two began arguing, and it got really bad, to the point that Mary either jumped from the car or was pushed from the car by her boyfriend, depending on which legend you believe. And she was hit by an oncoming car and killed. Mary has been seen standing on the side of the road before jumping out in front of passing cars as they get close to her. Drivers will slam on their brakes and swerve to avoid hitting Mary, but when they get out of their cars to assist her, there's no one there. Another haunting associated with Sweet Hollow Road is the spirit of a police officer who was said to have been killed during a traffic stop on the road many years ago. The officer is said to continue to haunt the road, pulling over unsuspecting drivers to give them warnings about driving dangerously on the road before disappearing. It seems as though he's still looking out for the area he patrolled during his life. The next haunted road we will be getting into is Dead Man's Curve in Clermont County, Ohio. Dead Man's Curve is a harrowing, almost 90-degree angle in downtown Cleveland where I-90 curves as it approaches Lake Erie. It was built during the Innerbelt Project in 1959 to alleviate the city's traffic and was initially set with a scary high speed limit of 50 miles per hour. There was one portion of the road that was instantly problematic, and this led to it getting the Dead Man's Curve nickname. The speed limit on this stretch of road was eventually lowered to 35 miles per hour, however, not before dozens of fatal accidents would occur. In 1969, a group of 5 teenagers were riding in a 1968 Impala when it was struck by a green Roadrunner traveling at over 100 miles per hour. Only one person walked away from the accident alive, and this tragic accident has fueled reports of hauntings along the road. Reports of a driverless Impala have popped up, as well as a report of a green Roadrunner aggressively chasing drivers down the road before vanishing into thin air. Shortly after the accident, other strange reports began to pop up, including the story of a faceless hitchhiker who is usually seen between 1:20 and 1:40 a.m. Drivers have reported approaching the area of the accident site when they see the apparition of a man standing near the side of the road. He reportedly has long hair and is wearing light-colored pants and a blue shirt. And as the man turns around, he has absolutely no face at all. No eyes, no mouth, no nose, nothing. And this is the faceless hitchhiker. He disappears before drivers can look back and try to make sense of what they saw. Another haunting of the road is that of yet another hitchhiker. The man, who appears as a smoky apparition near the side of the road, is said to walk with what looks like a limp, as if he's been injured in some way. And he's said to disappear as the cars get closer. And sometimes more menacingly, he's been reported to throw himself in front of oncoming cars. And on one occasion, when a woman slammed on her brakes to check on him, he crawled up on the hood of her car. She immediately sped off, and he quickly vanished. The next haunted road we'll be talking about is Riverdale Road, which is located in Colorado. Riverdale Road is an 11-mile stretch of winding road between Thornton and Brighton, and is considered to be haunted by tons of supernatural creatures. It even has a reported gate to hell. No, really, an actual gate, which sits in front of what used to be the home of the man who built the gate. Now, the story goes that the man murdered his entire family in their home before setting the house on fire. Now, witnesses report that a lady in white walks the road by the gates. Assumed to be his wife, she searches the street for her murdered children, or even possibly her husband. She might be out for revenge. But according to visitors, the most she's ever done is appear in the rearview mirror of cars as they pass by. Another haunting along the road involves a jogger who was out for a run on Riverdale Road when she was hit by a passing car and died. Joggers now report hearing the sounds of footsteps and a loud heartbeat when running on the road. Drivers have also reported feeling as if their cars have run something over when driving down the road, but that when they stop to investigate, there's nothing there. Rumors of satanic activity inside structures along the road have been fueled by headless animals being found, along with fresh graffiti on the structures. Reports of loud footsteps and feeling as though you are being watched are not uncommon along the road. The issue with Riverdale Road that is theorized to have led to its haunted history is that it has several blind corners. One driver in the 1970s was racing down the road when they had a fatal accident. And now, if you drive down the street during the day or at night, a phantom Camaro with one working headlight might pull up behind you and challenge you to a race. Other strange sightings include that of a shape-shifting creature who's said to roam the area and the road. There's also the spirit of a young boy that is said to dwell along Riverdale Road. While on his way to school one day, he was hit and killed by a car, and now he wanders the street at night, smearing his bloody handprints on every street sign that he passes. And by morning, the handprints are always gone, with no evidence of the boy being there. The next spooky road we have to discuss is East Coast Road, which is located in India. East Coast Road is also known as State Highway 49 and is a common route between Chennai and Puducherry in India along the Bay of Bengal. It's known for its beautiful, scenic route that allows drivers to take in the ocean views during the day. But at night, the road turns into something out of a nightmare. Because it's so poorly lit, it becomes really dangerous for anyone who travels the road. In addition to the dark and spooky atmosphere, drivers along the road have described feeling unexplained temperature drops, sending chills down their spine. Now, it's known that paranormal manifestations are often associated with cold spots and rapid drops in temperature. So is it possible that when drivers feel these sensations, they could have picked up a ghostly passenger that they didn't realize? Stories of a woman in white have circulated for years, and it's said that this woman was the victim in a tragic car accident on the road, and she returns to cause more accidents out of vengeance. She appears in the middle of the road, and as drivers swerve to avoid hitting her, they lose control of their cars, often causing new accidents to occur. And when the drivers get out of their car, they're unable to find any evidence of a woman being on the road at all. The final haunted road that we'll be talking about today is Archer Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. Archer Avenue is not only a haunted road, but it's one of the most haunted places in Illinois. The road started out as a Native American trail and evolved over time. The road weaves its way through forests, lakes, and cemeteries, creating a terrifying tale along the way. The most haunted portion of Archer Avenue runs near the aptly named Resurrection Cemetery, which is the site of a very well-known ghost named Resurrection Mary. The legend goes that Mary Burgovy was a teenage girl who, in 1934, was out on a date with her boyfriend. The two were attending a dance together when, over the course of the night, things got a little bit heated. The two began arguing, which caused Mary to storm off into the night, choosing to walk home by herself instead of riding home with her boyfriend. So Mary set off and began walking home. She made it approximately a half a mile when she was killed in a hit-and-run accident. The driver was never found, and Mary was buried in Resurrection Cemetery. Mary's apparition has appeared to drivers as they pass along Archer Avenue on several occasions. She's been seen by drivers walking down the side of Archer Avenue wearing a white dress and matching shoes, which is what she was wearing at the time of her death. When drivers offer her a ride, she quietly gets into the car and sits silently in the passenger seat. And then, as the car passes the Resurrection Cemetery, the woman disappears from the car. A cab driver described a time when he was stiffed the cab fee by Mary one evening in the 1970s, and a young man claims to have danced with Mary at the O. Henry Ballroom, the same ballroom where Mary was attending the dance with her date that night. The man claims that at the end of the evening, he offered to give Mary a ride home, which she accepted. And as they approached the cemetery, she asked him to pull the car over. When he did, she got out of the car, walked up to the gates of the cemetery, and then disappeared into the gates without them opening. Another popular haunting that has been reported on Archer Avenue is the sighting of a horse-drawn hearse that was seen in the late 1800s by a pair of young men who were staying in the area. They heard something strange outside, and when they looked out the window, they saw a horse-drawn hearse carrying a child-sized coffin that appeared to be glowing in the night. This sight has been reported by drivers along the road in recent days as well. Another spooky sighting that has been reported along the road is the sighting of 8 men dressed in hooded outfits, appearing to be monks. A police officer reported seeing the men one night in the 1970s as he was patrolling the area. He pulled up to the cemetery and spotted the men in hoods heading deeper into the cemetery. He assumed it was someone playing a prank or someone that was up to no good, so he got out of his car and began to chase the figures. And that's when he noticed that they weren't walking on the ground like he was. They were floating above the ground, and he was unable to catch up with them before they disappeared. And that is going to wrap up Volume 2 of Haunted Roads. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought. And if you want a Volume 3, I'll be happy to make that happen for you. So let me know. Thanks for tuning in today. The sources for today's episode will be listed in the show notes here on Patreon. Check out the other episodes of The Haunted Corner available now wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, with new episodes dropping every Monday and Thursday. And we'll have a brand new Patreon episode back here in a couple weeks. Follow us on social media at The Haunted Corner on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. If you're enjoying the podcast, please be sure to tell a friend. If you have a case suggestion or correction to share, please send it to thehauntedcorner@gmail.com or submit it through the website. Until next time, be kind and take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon. Bye.